Am I making sure that I am spelling love, Time? Am I making as many connection points as possible with these amazing gifts that God has given me? And this includes our spouses. Are we taking the time that we need to show them how much we love them? Hello, and welcome to the Encourager Podcast, where we talk about real life and real systems so you can joyfully harmonize both home and work. I'm your host, Bekah Scott. I'm a wife, mom, designer, coach, and lifelong systems thinker. And I help overwhelmed women build simple, sustainable rhythms that actually work for their real lives. Around here, we talk about priorities, pre-decisions, and practical tools that bring peace instead of pressure. Because you don't need more hustle, you need better systems and more grace. Today's episode is a good one. Hello, encouragers. On this week's podcast, we're talking about love is spelled Time. And this is a phrase that I heard from my Aunt Janelle, but it's always rang true for me, is that when we slow down enough to really concentrate on the people that matter most in our lives, that will make the biggest impact on our own lives. And I believe the biggest impact in the kingdom is to take care of our families and to do the things and to serve well that He has called us to do. And so on this week's episode, it's a nice and short and sweet one because it is the month of December after all, and we are consuming a lot, right? There's a lot on the to-do list. I'm still going to give you some reflection questions at the end of this. And this is just a challenge to really think about your own lifestyle and the impact that you're having in the area of time and love for your families. Sometimes the most loving thing we can give our kids isn't a gift, it isn't a gadget, or isn't some great plan or great vacation. It's simply our time. Love is spelled Time. I love this concept because it immediately helps me to go, whew, am I applying the time to show them the love that I do in fact have for them? This came about several years. I've been thinking about it, but I always try to borrow these little pockets of time that I can spend with the children. We don't take a ton of big vacations. Someday we will, but I always love the concept, and you've heard me say this in the podcast before, is that I like quantity over quality. You know, we can always romanticize, like we got all this quality time together on this vacation or this time away or whatever it looks like. We got all this quality time and these core memories. But really, what our children remember is the time we spent with them or the quantity of the time we spent with them. Those also form core memories. And so it's important to me to just put a ton of time into my children. And some like little ways that, I'll give you some examples of little ways that I do this, but one big aha for me was with my youngest Pixon. I pick her up from school every day, and I probably on my phone checking a few things before she walks out of that building. I'm normal just like everybody, right? I can see all the moms and the dads in their vehicles just on their phones checking a few things before they grab their kid. But as soon as I hear the bell ring, then I put the phone down and I'm looking for her. I'm anticipating my child walking out of that building. And usually I'm praying about like, okay, God, now we're entering a new phase of the day. Help me to fully embrace her, to be present with her, because I need to check in with myself. And then I get out of the car and I go and I meet her. Sometimes I have to wait on the playground a little bit before she gets there. Sometimes she's already making her way there. But I greet her with a hug and a kiss, which you also know that is important for me. Now, depending on the age of your child, that may differ with each one of them. But me getting out of the car to meet her tells her, I have been waiting for you. I'm so excited that you are home and safe and that we get to spend the rest of the day together. And I thought it was a big deal just because I do, in fact, love spending time with my child. But she has recognized that none of the other, I shouldn't say none, but very few parents get out of their vehicles. The kids walk to the vehicle and get in. And guys, I don't want to make this about judgment or shame, but it really does make me sad when the parent or adult, maybe it's not even a parent, doesn't really look up at their child. You can tell that they're talking to them and they greet them when they open the door and they get in, but their heads are still down on their phones. And I just don't want that for our sweet kiddos. I don't want that for you. So whatever you can do, please put the phone down, acknowledge your child, spend some time with them. I know it's hard. Oh my goodness. I know with all the things that we're trying to organize, but there was a time when we didn't have these phones with us all the time, right? So just put the phone down. And then another occurrence happened where I knew that love was spelled Time and that it was important is that we have been hosting our young adults from our church. Nicholas and I get to have them over for a meal. I feed everybody and then we have a lesson. And this lesson was about parenting actually, because we're going over a series called Relationships. And this was about the parent relationships. And I could not believe what these young adults had to say about their current lives and what they wished for their childhood. It was super interesting, fruitful conversation, but a ton of them said they wish that their parents had spent more time at the dinner table. I don't even know if they actually said dinner table. I think they just said meal time, because I don't know that they would know to say that. But they said, we just wish we had meals together. And I was shocked. Oh my goodness, shocked. I think out of the 15 kids, 2 of the kids said that they do actually have meals together. Two of the 15 said they have meals together with their family. Otherwise, everybody kind of eats on their own and does their own thing. But the majority of the group would like to have meals together, just as a way of connecting. Now, they didn't say, I want to have 2 to 3 meals a week or 4 to 7 meals a week. They didn't say anything like that. They just said they wished that they had more meals together. I asked them, why is that? And they said they just want to connect. And so if that's anything that you can take away from this, and these guys are all 18 plus, they want more time with us. And whether that involves a meal or not, they want to be together with you guys. And so as much as you can, provide that time, whether it's over a meal or not, whether it's at a dining room table or inside a car, provide that time with your children. They want to connect with you. Hey, encouragers, hope you're enjoying this episode. We'll be right back after this short break. This episode of The Encourager is brought to you by Rebecca Scott Designs, where we create thoughtfully designed purses and accessories that support your real life, not just your outfit. Every bag is designed with intention, handcrafted right here in South Dakota, and built around the belief that beauty and function should work together. From custom fabrics and linings to leathers, zippers, and really cool features, you get to design a piece that truly fits your life. Visit designyourownbag.com to create your own custom bag and use code ENCOURAGER for $10 off your purchase. So here are a few things that I practice with my own family to make sure that I'm trying to spend as much time as I possibly can. I just want to remind everybody I'm a human. I'm a sinner. I fall short of the glory of God a lot. My children will remind you how often I do screw up. However, these are a few tiny things that are doable in my family and in our stages of life right now. We go on walks on our gravel road a lot, frequently after dinner, after we've cleaned up the dishes, or sometimes right before dinner if I've got a pocket of time. Our gravel road is such a sanctuary to all of us. And sometimes it's one kiddo, sometimes it's all 3, sometimes it's by myself. I try not to do that. I try to recruit somebody with me. Those walks on the gravels are just really awesome connection points. It didn't involve food. It didn't involve effort. It just involved finding the road. And for you, that might mean finding the sidewalk, but just that one block that you walk with your child will be a connection point. We also like to read before bed. Sometimes it's a devotional, sometimes it's the Bible, and sometimes it's just a book, but it's not even that long. Like sometimes because of all the activities, you only get 5 minutes in, but reading and laying on their bed with them is such a beautiful way of connecting. And then, of course, I already talked about this, but sitting down at our table for meals, even if they're quick ones, even if it's breakfast for supper, even if it's a granola bar, when I sit at my dining room table in particular, for some of you, that might be your island table or whatever. But when I choose my dining room table, I don't know what it is, but somehow it elevates it to this is a more connected moment. And I think it's because you're facing one another. And again, this is going to look different for all of you guys, so there's no judgment or shame here. I'm just encouraging you to connect with one another and think through, what does that look like? Where is that at? When is that? Try to answer those questions so you can pre-decide. But being purposeful about my dining room table for whatever reason has really, really worked. My girls and my son, when they sit at that table, know we're going to connect. We're going to talk. We're going to giggle. Sometimes we're going to disagree at that table, but we are definitely going to connect and show one another how we love one another. And we're really big on board games. I grew up with board games on Sundays. We still practice that. But what I've come to realize is I romanticized how many times we played board games as a kid. My mom says, I don't think it was every Sunday, and it felt like that. And I don't know how long it was. So I've given myself permission to be like, even if it's just 5 minutes of dice, we do it. We have this really fun game named Set. I'll make sure to put that, I'll link that in our Amazon store because it's a really fun game to play with the girls. It only lasts like 5 to 10 minutes, but it's just a connection point again. And guess where we're playing it? At the dining room table. You could play yours in your living room, but I don't know. There's something magical about our dining room table. And it's not me. It's definitely not me. It's a God. It's a big, big God that wants us to connect. But we play a little board game before bedtime. Sometimes it's even after they shower, or sometimes it's before that. But especially my younger 2 will say, can we play a board game? And I can't help but think like, we're not going to remember who won or even what the questions were, or even maybe what the game was. But they're going to remember that I said, sure, and sat to connect with them. These are just some simple rhythms that I really, truly believe our kids will remember. I know they remember because Gus will say, I just want to be home, Mom. And I'll say, what do you want to do at home? He says, I want to eat together. He is not one to say, I want to play board games together, but he will say, I just want to talk to you guys. And so I know that these simple rhythms that I have set up are starting to impact my family and hopefully his family as well as he grows and matures. In 1 Corinthians 16:14, it says, let all that you do be done in love. And that's such a beautiful verse. And I know that you guys have heard that one frequently. Maybe that's something you hang on your fridge this week is let all that you do be done in love. 1 Corinthians 16:14. Maybe it's something you memorize as a family, or maybe it serves as a little reminder this coming week of, wait, am I connecting? Am I spending quantity time with them? A lot of it. Am I making sure that I am spelling love, T-I-M-E? Am I making as many connection points as possible with these amazing gifts that God has given me? And this includes our spouses. Are we taking the time that we need to show them how much we love them? Okay, you can take this several different ways. You could just put on the fridge, love is spelled T-I-M-E, and that's just your gentle reminder to spend as much time as you possibly can. Or maybe you want to write the Bible verse, let all that you do be done in love. Or maybe you want to talk with your kids about like, hey, what are the things that you want to do more of together? Involve them. Ask your spouse the same thing. And then get to figuring out how you're going to implement it. I hesitate using the word schedule because it is the month of December and I don't want it to be so rigid, but I still want you to be intentional about it. Ride the line between saying, on Sunday at 1:45, we're going to play board games, to, hey, on Sunday afternoon, we're going to play some board games together. You didn't put a time on it. You didn't put how long you had to do it, but you were going to be and are going to be intentional about spending that time. And again, everybody's idea of spending time together is going to look different. I encourage you to ask your family members, ask yourself, go into prayer, ask God, hey, I want to be more intentional with the time with my loved ones. Will you help me discover those pockets of time that I can do that? Encouragers, love is spelled T-I-M-E. So go take that walk, play the game, or linger a little longer at your table. That's where the memories and the love is made. Until next time, encouragers, we got this because he's got us. If this podcast has encouraged you or helped you in any way, I'd be so grateful if you'd subscribe and leave a 5-star review. It truly helps more women find these conversations. And if you're listening thinking, I don't need more motivation, I need someone to help me figure out my actual life, that's exactly what I do. Through Encourager Academy and one-on-one coaching, I help women build personalized systems for their home, work, and life rhythms. No cookie-cutter routines, but structures that fit your unique personality, your season, and your capacity. You can explore the Academy or book a free discovery call at theencouragerpodcast.com. Let's take your next small step forward together.